story kicks off with a chaotic glimpse into a future where our heroine is surrounded by a small army of infants, exhausted but resilient as she realizes that makes a total of 10 children. Rewinding to how it all began, we meet our protagonist, who introduces herself. My name is Yee Ji Choo, a 23-year-old girl struggling at the rock bottom of society. Her life is a constant battle against poverty and misfortune, especially when she hears the dreaded news, Choo! Choo! The doctor is pressing you for your dad's medical bills again. Deep in debt and desperate to save her father, she looks at the sky and begs for a miracle. Can you give me a way to get rich overnight? As if answering her prayers, a bizarre recruitment ad appears on a screen. 8. Bai Dan's richest family offers high salary to hire daughter-in-law. The deal is simple but extreme. Get married to Fu Yunshen, the sole heir of the Fu family, and fulfill the ultimate KPI bearing children. The financial rewards are life-changing, starting with a pregnancy bonus of 5 million just for conceiving. The bounty for an heir is even higher, with the ad promising that having a son would cost 30 million. Ji Choo decides to bet everything on this chance, laughing off her past bad luck and claiming, "I've always been destined for great wealth and honor in this life." With her father's survival on the line, she sets her sights on the top prize, shouting, 30 million, let's go. She meets the stern butler Wang, who manages the selection process and tells her, Miss Yi, if you are interested, she must first pass a rigorous medical exam. As she enters the testing grounds, Butler Wang watches her with a mysterious gaze, whispering, "You have no idea what you're about to experience." She is immediately met with hostility from arrogant socialites who look at her cheap clothes and sneer, how dare they apply for the job of being the young mistress of the richest man's family? The interview turns out to be a brutal survival camp where Butler Wang announces, "You will undergo Marine Corps level testing." The logic is cold and practical. The Fu family needs women who can withstand high-intensity childbirth tasks. The first trial is a grueling physical endurance test, consisting of a 5 kilometers cross-country run in under 30 minutes. While the rich heiresses collapse in the mud, Zi Chi sprints like a professional athlete, finishing in 14 minutes and 30 seconds. Almost broke the world record. Next is the nutrition test. As Wang explains that for a healthy pregnancy, the family values only a good appetite and a large food intake. Zi Choo shocks everyone by clearing the entire table with ease, and Yee Ji Choo passed the food intake test with first place. The third phase shifts to mental capacity, because the young mistress of a wealthy family needs exceptional intelligence to manage a dynasty. On to the shock of the elite graduates. Zi Chi Q aces the high-level exam, proving that 100 points is the maximum score for someone as determined as her. The final test of perseverance involves focus in repetitive and meticulous tasks while setting an intricate Western dining table. The standard is absolute perfection. One tiny mistake and Butler Wang commands, everyone starts over. The other girls begin to crack under the pressure, complaining that this is nothing short of torture, both mentally and physically. Ji Choo remains calm, remembering her years of hard labour and thinking, who isn't like this in this world? After hours of focus, she finally achieves the impossible, and the instructor admits, your arrangement is absolutely perfect. The old lady sees a spark in the determined girl, realising the streak of single heirs is about to end at the hands of this little girl. Ji Choo is finally invited to the inner sanctum, gasping as she steps inside. Wow, this is the legendary mansion. She wastes no time proving her worth to the matriarch, confidently stating, you can rest assured that he can give birth to an old lady, boasting about her peak physical health. The terms are laid out, millions for every child, and Ji Choo can barely contain her excitement, thinking, wouldn't that mean I'd become incredibly wealthy? She realises this isn't just a marriage, it's practically a wealth code that will solve all her family's problems. With a stroke of a pen, the contract is sealed, and she is told, you are the young mistress of the Fu family. The perks of her new status begin immediately as Butler Wang hands her a card saying, this card has 500,000 inches it. which is your allowance. Yee Ji visits her father in his new luxury hospital suite, and her mother cries in relief. Our family is truly blessed by our ancestors. During the marriage registration, a curious clerk asks about their romance, and Yee Ji Choo makes up a fairy tale on the spot. He is my saviour. On the wedding night, Yee Ji Choo is all business, determined to hit her targets. We need to have sex as soon as possible. She tries to seduce the aloof Fu Yunshen, promising him, I am sure I'll have a big, healthy boy. Yunshen is taken aback by her aggressive approach, asking in confusion, Yee Ji Choo, what are you going to do? After a night of hard work, she is exhausted but satisfied. Whispering to her husband, you're amazing. Yee Ji Choo wakes up to a life of absolute luxury, greeted by a staff who says, young mistress, I'll take care of your daily life and hygiene. She is treated to a breakfast so lavish that she can't believe her eyes, shouting, it's really out, as the dishes are presented. However, being a trophy wife comes with homework. Yunshen expects her to master finance, law, foreign languages, piano, and calligraphy. Yee Ji Choo has a different idea of practical skills, asking Butler Wang to sign her up for a B2 driver's license for operating excavators and trucks instead. She trains with heavy machinery, laughing to herself. If I am not happy driving a luxury car, I'll just haul cargo in a big truck. The miracle finally happens. The pregnancy test is positive, and she screams in joy, I won 5 million for her first bonus. The doctor delivers even bigger news during the ultrasound, and they were triplets. Butler Wang calculates the massive payout, informing a stunned Yee Ji that your earnings are between 65 million and 95 million. Fu Yunshen drops his cold exterior the moment he hears the news, shouting to the world, I am a dad. But danger lurks in the shadows as the jealous socialites from the interview spot her at the clinic and hiss, she is pregnant. They kidnap her, dragging her to a warehouse and demanding, tell me whose bastard child you're carrying. Facing 3 crazy women, Yee Ji Choo uses her wit to stall for time, telling a fake, spicy story. That night, after I took a shower, I put on a lace slip dress. She describes her seduction of Yunshen in hilarious detail, telling her captors how she said, husband, you're mine now. The villains are live streaming her humiliation, but they get more than they bargained for when they ask, is what you just said in your live stream false? Yee Ji doesn't just wait for rescue. She uses her hacking skills to alert her bodyguards and fights back, screaming, I'll raise you all to the ground. The Fu family is furious. Yunshen arrives with a helicopter, and the old lady declares, I'll bankrupt their entire family within 3 days. Yee Chia's status is now untouchable. The servants are ordered to go and prepare a glass of 36.5-degree warm water for the young mistress. The triplets take a toll on her body, but she stays motivated by the money, thinking, for 90 million, I am not afraid of any risks. The doctor warns of health complications, and Yunshen, terrified for her life, suggests, let's cut one off. Yee Ji Choo is horrified at the thought of losing a child, or her 30 million bonus, shouting, are you kidding me? She stands her ground with maternal and financial ferocity. I will not give up on any child. The big day arrives, and the delivery room is tense until the doctor announces it was triplets. As she recovers, Yee Ji Choo is already doing the math in her head. 3 children, 90 million. She checks her bank account and trembles at the sight of her new fortune. 90 million. A full 90 million. Her parents accidentally discover her secret life at a gala, and her father asks in shock, who is that man next to you just now? Yunshen steps up to defend her, telling her parents, my feelings for Yee Ji Choo are genuine. The old lady welcomes the parents into the fold, declaring that Yee Ji Choo was a great contributor to our Fu family. Life with 3 infants is a war zone. But Yun Shen becomes a devoted father, telling his wife, "You rest for a while, I'll take care of it." The old lady isn't satisfied yet. She wants a girl and asks, "Why don't you have another daughter?" The temptation is dangled again. A reward of 20 million for having a daughter. Ji Choo looks at her bank account and her husband and agrees, "I am willing to have another child." The cycle starts over as she proudly announces to Yun Shen, "My husband is pregnant again." The second ultrasound brings the most shocking news of all. The doctor stammers, 4. The old lady faints at the news of quadruplets, crying out in a mix of joy and terror, "Oh no, another litter." Yun Shen is ridden with guilt, apologizing to his wife. "I shouldn't have agreed to Grandma's suggestion in the first place." Ji Choo takes it all in stride, embracing her role as the ultimate mother. "I, Yee Ji Choo, am not only a billionaire, but a mother of 7 in the making." When the health risks become life-threatening, Yun Shen chooses her over the children, telling the staff, "I only have 1 wife." The final act of this high-stakes baby-making drama reaches a fever pitch as the hospital room becomes the centre of a historic delivery where a relieved grandma, Fu, tearfully reminds a weary Ji Choo that health is the most important thing. The payout for the quadruplets is astronomical, officially launching our heroine into the billionaire club as she gleefully confirms, "Every penny is in my account." But life with 7 growing children is pure, unadulterated madness, prompting the exhausted parents to realise this family needs a commander-in-chief to survive the daily chaos. Yee Ji Choo taps into her inner project manager, running the mansion like a Fortune 500 company by implementing a rigorous rich family childcare schedule. The organised system brings a rare moment of peace to the Fu household, and a grateful Yun Shen can only look at her in awe, praising, "Wife, you're a genius." Just as she finally finds her rhythm, a familiar, terrifying nausea strikes once more. She stares at the calendar and realizes with a gasp, "My period seems to be more than 10 days late." It is yet another set of triplets. But this time, Yun Shen's love overrides his desire for heirs. As he warns her, "I am afraid that if you have another child, your life will be in real danger." A brutal family war erupts when Grandma Fu demands the incense grandma tradition of the family line be the priority above all else. Yun Shen chooses his wife over his dynasty, threatening his own family that he and Yee Ji Choo left the Gu family if her life is put at risk for another child. The heart-wrenching tension causes Grandma Fu to collapse from a heart attack. And the atmosphere turns somber as Butler Wang delivers the grim update. She's dying. To save the matriarch's fading will to live, Ji Choo makes a daring, selfless promise by the old woman's bedside. "I will definitely give birth to this child." In a final, miraculous delivery that defies medical odds, the hospital room echoes with the cries of the final 3 as the doctor announces the 8th one is a boy. The medical team is left in absolute disbelief at Ji Chi Isin, incredible resilience, jokingly telling the recovered grandma, "You have such a fertile granddaughter-in-law." Years later, the Fu mansion has transformed into a massive, joyful kindergarten where a grumpy but secretly happy grandma mutters at her 10 great-grandchildren, "Run. Why am I not dead yet?" In a final gesture of ultimate devotion, Fu Yun Shen hands over his entire empire to the woman who gave him everything, deciding to transfer everything to your name, looking out over her 10 beautiful children and the man who truly loves her. Ji Choo finally realizes that her greatest profit wasn't the millions, but the home she built. I, Yee Ji Choo, have truly made a fortune in this life.